Okay.
Like to call the 27th, 2024 library board meeting. And present are board members Peggy, Stan, and Vicky. And library members are Chip, Stella, and Lindsay. And we suspect there'll be some more joining us, so. All right, is there, I'd like to move to approve the March 2024 regular meeting agenda. There's a second.
Second.
We have a second from Peggy. Okay, and the next thing on the agenda is,
Me too.
oh, that's right, we got to vote on this.
Yes.
All those in
I
favor?
move to approve the March 2024 regular meeting agenda. Oh, that was the last thing. How about February 28th, 2024 regular meeting agenda?
We're gonna first approve this
Meeting.
agenda with a vote.
Oh, yeah, with a vote. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Robert's rules, aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, ayes have it. Now we'll move on to approving the minutes from the February 28th meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the February 2024 meeting, which I read from start to finish.
There's a second.
Second.
Peggy seconded. All right, all those in favor, say
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. All right, next thing on the agenda is correspondence.
We actually had correspondence this month.
Yeah.
A letter from Dave Monroe, thanking the library staff and the board for the brainstorm speaker series, which is really all courtesy, well, a lot of library staff work, but the funding was provided by the Library Foundation and Friends.
Yeah.
We're very thankful for that.
That's the only one that
That's
I
it.
read, yeah, okay. All right, we'll open for public comment, and I don't see anybody.
Nobody but Vicky
So-
and mine, no one's in the room.
Everybody's on spring break, I guess. So no public comments at this time, okay. We'll move on to this consent agenda. And we have the financial narrative that Stella is gonna give us.
Thank you. Not much to report on this month, but I do want to clarify a question that came up last month on the revenue report. It showed that we were in the negative of $578. And I did reach out to the treasurer's department. And basically why that was showing that way is that in July, we moved $75,000 of our interest income into our capital reserves fund. But what we didn't realize is that the interest income had already been moved into our overall fund balance. So really, we needed to ask for the 75,000 to come out of the overall fund balance, because I guess each year the interest income starts over. It's not like just one pot that continues to grow. They start it over at the start of the fiscal year, which we were not aware of. So that then caused our current fiscal year to be running in the negative in terms of interest, even though we were accruing interest. It just was showing in the negative. So most likely what's going to happen is the treasurer's department, they're probably going to do like a journal entry or some sort of correction to show the proper amounts, and then to properly take the 75,000 out of the overall fund balance, rather than having it shown to be taken out of the interest account. What that also means is, assuming that we're doing really well with our overall interest again this year, which it looks like we are, then what we would do is ask for a certain amount to be moved from overall fund balance into capital reserves is most likely what Kip and I will probably come back to you, either in June or July with that request, so. Because of course, once our funds are in capital reserves, they can't be touched by anybody but the library, so.
We like to keep them.
And, we were several years without funding capital reserves, so we'd like to get it back to a healthy place. And then also on my narrative, I showed you a breakdown of what the interest allocation was for the month of February. And that comes from a much more detailed report that we aren't providing to you all, but that's just where I captured that information, if you're wondering where I got that. Now, the one thing is, on the revenue report for February, if we're looking at the interest income line, we're still not showing the change to where we should be. So again, it's my understanding that the treasurer's office will be making that change, but I don't know if we're actually gonna see it on these reports this year. So if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Fiscal year,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then otherwise, we're doing good in terms of overall revenue. Expenditures, we're doing pretty good on. And,
One question on that.
uh-huh,
I'm assuming the White Cloud expenditure, that's the last one, or White Cloud?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
That would have been the last one.
That was the Alta one, right? Are we
Correct.
still, are they still in Jackson? Are they still? No.
We,
Would-
Premier Green Cleaning
Okay,
for the Jackson Bridge. They won the last bid.
okay, thank you.
And they are also temporarily doing the Alta location until we have a full bid on that one.
Okay.
So as I stated, I don't really have much to report this month. I don't know if there were any other questions.
It's like we're tracking well.
I'll move to approve the February 2024 consent agenda. There's
Second.
Okay, Vicky seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, Lisa, okay.
You know what, can I just please add, so this was confusing to me, there's a thing called a warrant, it's a funny terminology.
Like for our arrests?
Yeah, that's terrible, I
It's
was
a
like, that
very
does not
old
sound
school
good.
term for checks.
But that does help us now to understand the checks that are written from the prior voucher approval, so.
Yes.
But they're called warrants, so, I needed to learn that.
Yeah. And sorry, I forgot to mention that based upon the other conversation that we had last month at the board meeting, the decision was encouraged by Abigail Moore that we every month going forward include a listing of what checks were actually sent out based upon the vouchers of the previous month. So that was a new addition this month.
Thank you for doing that, Stella. It was really helpful.
Okay. Move on to the director's monthly report.
Okay. After you've read a blank one and enjoyed how much I did last month.
Enjoyed that one.
I just uploaded the wrong one and thankfully Lindsay caught that. So a couple of three highlights, I guess, from this month's. The space planning RFP was released on the 13th of March. It's been downloaded. Well, it's been viewed by hundreds of vendors. It's been downloaded by, I don't remember what I said, 83 vendors maybe. I've talked to 3 consultants and or architects so far with just some very specific questions that wouldn't be the ones we talked about earlier. But I also had 2 calls today. So we've heard from 5 architects and consultants who think it sounds like a really interesting plan or proposal and would like to work with us. So hopefully we're gonna have a good response in the end, I think. we'll know by the end of April how many we received, and then Stella, Peg, and I will review those and conduct interviews and recommend one vendor to the board for approval, a special meeting in May.
Okay.
The Foundation and Friends sponsored coffee cart in the lobby after so many months. Finally opened yesterday for business. They currently have 4 days of business, 9 to 1 on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, I believe. And those are subject to change as they sort of learn traffic patterns in the library and when people really want coffee. Be nice to
Was
have
it busy
just
yesterday?
for the meetings, right? Pardon, Vicky?
Was it busy yesterday?
It was with a lot of Snake River Roasters staff here. It was free for library staff, so it was busy with library staff. At one point, early in the morning, right after they opened, they had 2 real customers, but I don't know how many they've had after that. Hopefully, I mean, it'll take a while. It's a quiet week at the library with spring break.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so I would and there's been no media other than Diana posted some photos to social media, I believe.
We have to hang a sign outside the coffee shop while you're reading.
I'm sure word will spread fast.
Yeah.
I had a mocha that was like good, so. And all good things come to an end. The library, as of Friday, will no longer be fully staffed. A part-time library assistant over at the Alta branch has submitted her resignation, effective in mid to late April. I don't remember the exact dates. But recruitment is underway for that position, and Eva has received a number of applications already, so I think we'll fill that easily. And the saddest one is our new teen program coordinator, Haley Williamson, has tendered her resignation. Their family ranch has sold, and the family's moving to Alabama, and she and her husband are moving to Kalispell. But nobody wants to play the housing game.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that in the report too, about the housing.
That was the reason. She loves working here.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job, but it's just, they don't want that stress in their life.
Gee.
So we have posted that position, and as of yesterday, there were 5 applicants. 3 of them look pretty good, actually. So we're setting up interviews after spring break, so.
Do we have any internal applicants? Yeah.
None yet. Gotta really like working with teams, so
Yeah.
I don't know how people feel about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have maybe one.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I think we'll fill both positions pretty quickly. So I can report again that we're fully staffed in May, maybe.
Yeah.
As people start coming for summer and stuff.
So those are the big things out of my report. If you've got any questions about the detailed pieces?
I loved one comment that I think is worth sharing, and that is the one.
Not the one with the 4-letter words.
No, not that one. That one sort of didn't make sense to me, but the one with the child said, comes in and says, it smells like learning in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
that's so
great.
sweet.
Yes.
Okay. Guess we need a motion to, no, because that's, yeah. All right, let's move on to foundation, and Diana is not here.
Diana
but,
is working remotely
she
in
did,
California, so
and she did submit a
she
report.
submitted a written
Where
report.
they've been busy,
Yes,
been really busy, so.
We are currently about 50, almost 56% spent in the foundation. And I attended their board meeting last week.
Wi-Fi out
and,
that is scheduled for 5:30 PM and will be until close.
And she did tell her board that
Wi-Fi outage.
they
No
expected
Wi-Fi available
that we
starting
would come
at
in
5:30 PM.
between 10 and 15% underspent again, which is the sort of the norm.
Yeah.
Some things are being moved to next year instead.
Just curious, is there a liaison that attends their
Won't
board
heat up if you watch.
meetings from the library, or kind of works the other way around?
Does work the other way
Okay.
around. I attend, and give a report
Oh, you do?
usually and answer
Okay.
questions. I don't know, other than we have the collab meetings where we get together. I don't know that a board member from the library board has ever attended there.
Just curious. Thank you.
I'll ask them about that.
May not be necessary. Yes.
Kip could answer the question better than we can anyway.
It's nice to know each other.
True.
Okay. Any other questions? Vicky, any questions on that report?
No, I thought it was pretty comprehensive and understandable.
Okay, we have any other matters, board members or employees? You shared with us the shortage of 2 people, but, any other things? Okay,
Just going right through this.
all right, we'll move on to the payment of the library vouchers. And February warrant register, which you clarified, we weren't paying of checks. And that's the new thing that was added this time. I move to approve the payment of the library vouchers in the amount of $38,155.49. There's a second?
I
Second.
second.
Okay, we got a second from Peggy. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, the ayes have it. All right, the next thing on the agenda is I move to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor? Whoop. Vicky, you got a comment?
No, not really. I was looking at the planning calendar, but
It's probably out of whack at this point.
okay.
And it's only for guidance anyway.
Yeah.
So. All right, all those in favor?
I.
Opposed? We be finished.
Yeah, that was fast.
Quick meeting.
Well,